Celtic. Becky, great ball in. Ellen White for Manchester City.
Decent hit, wonderful goal. The first ever in a Manchester derby in FAWSL is an absolute blinder, scored by Caroline Weir.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MCW Fancast. I'm Emma, thanks for listening. The WSL finally kicks off today. The opening fixture of the weekend is Manchester United against Reading, which takes place at Leigh Sports Village. For City, their season campaign begins with a trip to Goodison Park, which will play host for our game against Willie Kirk's Everton on Saturday afternoon. Kick-off is 1:30pm with the game available to watch live on the BBC. A tough opposition for City, who have strengthened well over the summer. Both teams will be looking to get off to the perfect start in this one. City head into the game off of the back of a midweek trip to Spain, where they met Real Madrid in the Champions League. And despite key players missing from the squad due to injuries, Gareth Taylor will be hoping to have more options at his disposal come the weekend. Last week we spoke to Dan Pentland, chief editor from the FAWSL Full Time Magazine, and this week we're getting the thoughts of the fans. We're joined by Dave, Jayne and Jude from the official Man City Women's Supporters Club to get their thoughts ahead of the start of the season.
Hi, I'm Esme Morgan and you're listening to MCW Fancast.
I'm joined by Jayne, Dave and Jude. Thank you for joining me. It's great to catch up with you guys after the summer. How have you been? Have you had a good one?
Yeah, it's been nice summer. It'll be really nice to get back to games though. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching the Olympics and everything. Now I'm ready to go, and fantastic to be able to get back in the grounds as well. Can't wait.
Yeah, had a really good summer. Again, watching all the Olympics and loving the Paralympics as well at the moment. Moved house. I found the flags, so we're safe. I've got the big flag. And can't wait to get back to the games.
They've been washed, ironed, ready to go?
Washed and hung out.
Not ironed. Nobody irons anything.
It's better than the ones that have stayed here with me because they've not been washed.
I can't. Were going to wash them, but they didn't they?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Blandy would have ironed them.
Yeah, they were out all last season in all weathers, so
yeah, they did.
Although we weren't there, they did well. They did well, those flags.
Yeah, I'm sure, like you guys, really looking forward to getting back into the stadium. Obviously, it's been quite a busy summer for City. Obviously, lots of incomings, outgoings. We've pretty much know what the squad is looking like. Don't know if there's any more deals to be done. It's obviously the last day of the transfer window. What are you expecting, and how pleased have you been with the business done so far?
Well, obviously we pretty much knew we were losing the American duo, and as it turned out, Abby's gone as well. So we've basically had to look to replace those players. I think we've done quite well with the ones we've brought in. We've brought in experienced players, and quite importantly, I think players who've also got a bit of experience in this country, play for teams already in this league, like Hayley Rasso and like Alana Kennedy. So they know what the league's about. So those are nice signings for us. Lasada, I think she speaks for herself. From everything you read about her, everything you see, what she's worn, how she's played. I've read up a lot on her over the summer since we've signed her. There's nothing but good reports on her. And again, the same with Bunny Shaw. We needed a goal scorer, I think, to take some of the weight off Ellen White, maybe up front. And we've gone out and got someone who was top scorer in the French league, who wasn't playing for one of the maybe the top two sides, and he's just still top scorer. So me personally, looking at them, I think they all are good fits and certainly what we needed.
World-class replacements, I would say, in that respect, and obviously rising star as well, Ruby Mason there. How much are you looking forward to seeing those players, and who are you looking to deliver on those sort of expectations and the pedigree of some of the players that are within that list?
I think for me, like you say, some of the pedigree, if you look at somebody like Lasada, then you're expecting her to be a top class player, and I don't think she's going to disappoint on that side. I'll be really interested to see Bunny Shaw play in this league and see how many goals she can get. I think she looks like she could be a real threat in front of goal if she can get a nice bit of understanding alongside somebody like Lauren Hemp, who can put the crosses in for her and things like that. I think we can see some really good things from her this season.
And with regards to the outgoings, Jude, I mean, what have you made of the players that we've lost this season? Because there's been quite a few.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, pretty much expected Sam and Rose, although it would have been nice to have held on to them for a bit longer. Really disappointed in Abby Del Campo, leading us, 6 months into a 2.5-year deal. Went back to NCC, and then they've sold her rights to, can't remember where it is now.
Dash.
Dash, thank you. So yeah, that's a bit of a strange one, but I guess her husband plays in Texas as well, so maybe it's the personal side. I don't know, but disappointing. So I thought she did well for us last season. Meg Campbell, I mean, huge fan favourite. Meg Campbell. She's been so unlucky with injuries. Top player when she's fit. Sadly, gone to Liverpool and sadly now picked up another injury there as well. So obviously we wish Megan well for a speedy recovery there. Who else have we lost?
Aoife.
It's been so long. Do you know what it is? I'm the same. Yeah, Aoife. I mean, again, that's disappointing with Aoife going. I think we've lost quite a few defenders, and obviously with Lucy being out as well at the moment. So yeah, that was disappointing because we never really got to see much of Aoife. She did her ACL not long after she joined us. She did score a penalty for us though, so that's we'll give her that. So yeah, and obviously she's gone across to United. Is that it? I think was that it? We didn't lose many, did we?
Gemma Bonner.
Yeah, I guess Gemma sort of went before.
We lost.
So
Tyler Toland, Leigh.
Oh, I'm just rubbish, aren't I? I'm just rubbish.
There was a big long list, and I didn't want to name them all.
I think in the case of players like Tyler and Leigh, with them being on loan last season, maybe Gareth didn't have them in his long-term plans anyway. From all reports, Leigh got better and better at Brighton as the season went on, and they were very happy, and eager to sign her. So good luck to her. I hope she does well there. And the same with Tyler. It's difficult to get into City's side because we're a top side and we've got top players, and some of these players they're good or they're really unlucky with injuries and they're just not quite at the top level yet. They don't get the chance to get into our side. Sometimes you look at something like Jude was saying about Aoife being unlucky as well with that injury. She was just hitting good form, but then Aoife's injuries probably opened the door for someone like Esme Morgan, who came back from Everton for a year and really shone last season. Really, you could see what a development she'd made in that game and how mature, she'd matured in that year at Everton. And now, pretty much one of the first names on the team sheet, Esme, she's a first team player. So for everyone you lose, there's a flip side to it. And, you've got to look at that really. And it's difficult because there's not that many games and, there's not as many games in the women's season as there in the men's. So you can't have too big a squad, but you've got to try and keep them happy. Other than, say, Gareth and Emma Hayes does it at Chelsea. She's got a very big squad and she somehow keeps like top international players happy even when they're not playing. And that's the trick.
Not only that, we've got obviously a lot of players that are committed to the club. Barnsley signed another deal to keep her on for another year, which is always pleasing to see. Obviously, she's come back to the club. But there are still players within the squad that I feel will have quite an impact for the squad next season. I'm speaking about like the likes of Janine Becky. Obviously, we've seen her again, midweek, back in a starting 11, back in a preferred position. I feel like Janine will play a big part for City next season.
Yeah, it'd be great if she did. She's a top class player. She comes to the start of the season on a real high after that Olympic triumph where, came away with a gold medal. So she's going to be on a real high. She's a great player. I think we all know kind of what a great player Janine is, and a lot of people want to see her in the starting 11 week in, week out. And like you say, I think we probably will see quite a lot of her this season.
And she's the type of player as well that's, she can be called upon and do a job if, we're a bit short, she's prepared to go in right back. I'm sure if, we didn't have a goalkeeper, she'd go in goal and do as a job as well.
Good versatile player as well, isn't she? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's playing a lot of positions. That's always handy to have.
Looking at last season, obviously tinged with a bit of disappointment, coming obviously runners up to Chelsea, especially when it did get so close toward the end of the season. What are for you the main areas that City need to build upon in order to sort of progress and hopefully have that success next season?
There's a couple of things. I mean, the head-to-heads against Chelsea have proved to be really important games. So I think kind of trying to get on top of that, especially the home game, and getting a win in that game can make the difference over winning the league or not winning the league. But also, I think last season we suffered a bit from a bit of a slow start, drawing a couple of games that we really, really should have won and picked up points at. So I think it'll be important this year to pick up the points as early as possible in the season. I'm not sure we've had an ideal preparation for it, with the Olympics going on through the summer. It means that we've not had the team back together as long as we would have liked to have. But on the flip side of that, the team, a lot of them were away together and playing together anyway. So, they haven't been away from each other for too long. So hopefully we can just kind of carry the momentum on and through and start the season really well.
Dave, do you kind of feel that the lack of pre-season in comparison to obviously last season, where I think, we played about, 4 pre-season games that we knew of, and that's not even included in the Community Shield. Do you think that'll hinder the team heading into the start of the season?
Well, it's not ideal. It's not what you'd want as a manager. You'd want to have your squad back quite early. You do you get them fit. You do your fitness training, and then obviously you would hopefully knock out 3 or 4 friendly games. But they've not been able to do that because of the Olympics. It is a one-off. It is a one-off year. Just like everything else, we've had to adapt to it. As Jayne pointed out, the one good thing for City is that GB squad was full of our players anyway in a competitive environment, so they have been playing. So the fitness shouldn't really have dropped too much over the summer that it would have done if they hadn't been playing, and the City would have had to get them back early and get the fitness up again. So, hopefully, but I mean, ideally, you wouldn't want it. You'd want some friendlies in there. I was disappointed when the Community Shield was postponed this year. I'd like to have seen it played again, just for that reason. But then we drew Real Madrid in Europe, and we've got Everton on Saturday. So we've got to hit the ground running here. These are tough fixtures. Everton away at Goodison with a good recruitment they've had over the summer. Like Jayne said, last year a slow start did cost us in the end. This year we can't afford to have a slow start. We've got to hit that ground running, which isn't easy.
And I think also concerns about freshness as well, because like you've all said, yes, they've all been playing together, but they've been playing together since the start of last season as well. So pretty much constantly through to end of July. So again, it's freshness, the team fresh. And also we've got quite a few injuries at the moment as well. So yeah, it's not ideal. I guess it is what it is. But we've got enough good quality players there. And you could, I'm sure we'll talk about Champions League in a bit, but you could see glimmers of it on earlier in the week with the Champions League game. But it's getting that team to gel quickly, because you draw a game, that's it. That can cost you the league. And I think we always use the fight till the end, and we've seen it in a few games now where we're so close, we're over the line, and then somebody gets an equaliser in the last minute, and then that's it. We've seen it in the Conti Cup with Chelsea. So it was the Conti Cup with Chelsea last year, wasn't it? We were 2-1 up, equalised, lost it over extra time. Katrin Berger's wonder save, you can't take that away from her. But it's things like that we really need to kick on. And I love Ellen White. I think she's a fantastic player, and she sits sort of on the shoulders of defenders as well. So there are going to be more offsides, and I think that's something potentially we need to look at. But she's a great scorer, She will go out. She did really well in the Olympics as well. But yeah, I'd like to see a few less offsides from Els Bells this year, please.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Ellen White, obviously announced earlier in the week that Ellen White wouldn't, necessarily start the season with it. There's not that much information surrounding that. Obviously, Ellie Roebuck was a doubt midweek, but they're obviously assessing her for the weekend for Everton. Obviously, we start the season without Lucy. We know we've obviously not got Chloe because of the ACL injuries she picked up towards the end of last season. So there are injury concerns as well heading into the start of the season. Are you worried about their potential impact at all, or are you quite happy that we've got enough depth to cover those positions?
Kira's always a concern.
Yeah, not having Kira in the team is a big.
Kira,
Yeah.
That's always a concern. But we've also got Vicky Losada who can slot into that role, and she's got WSL experience as well. Top player with Barca, and Georgia as well. Although I think Gareth did say that she may. I think they're looking to try and feature her in Everton, but there's some really key players missing. But some good signings have come in. But I mean, Jayne, I know. Sorry, you started to.
No, I'm in agreement with you. Really, I think so long as we can get these players back as soon as possible, we have got a bit of depth with the new players that have come in that can still afford us to play, a top quality starting 11. But the caliber of those players, like Georgia, like Kira, like Ellie, they're big players for us. So the sooner we can get them back, the better.
Every single one of the players you mentioned there, if they were fit, would probably start. So we can't paper over the fact that we're going to miss these players, obviously. I mean, Chloe, I think Gareth said they're aiming for Christmas. It's a bit like Lauren last season. We didn't have her for the first half. It does give other players an opportunity. I think a good example of that the other night was Taib in goals. I thought she had a very good game. So we're well covered. We've got 3 great goalkeepers, in my opinion. But it's difficult because you rush players back and then end up them being out more, or you rely on the ones you've got. I think that we've got a decent enough squad with the new players we've mentioned. If we hadn't signed those new players, we'd be in serious trouble, but we have. And unfortunately, they haven't got any bedding inside these players. They're going to have to hit the ground running, as I said before. So, but they're international, they're experienced players. That's why I like the fact we've bought players who are experienced in the WSL as well. They know what to expect.
And as experienced players as well, they'll be adaptable, one would hope. So, in terms of bedding in, they should be professional enough to be able to adapt to these new environments.
I've always been very impressed whenever I've seen Rasso play, Hayley Rasso, against us, and I've watched her a few times, when I've watched Australia, and I've always been quite impressed with her, down that line, attacking and getting back a lot as well. Like you say, very versatile. And that's what we might need to have a little bit of in the next few weeks. Players that are a bit versatile and just fill in till the others come back. And then Gareth will have a nice headache when everyone's fit. That's a nice headache. That's what he wants, a full squad. And hopefully then he can do a little bit of rotation, as Jude said before, keeping people fresh. That could then become important.
And as fans, what are your expectations heading into the season? What would be sort of, I don't know. I mean, we've spoke so many times about, having a good run in the Champions League, trophies, WSL, and it seems like the same, obviously, conversation again. But is there a real need now for City to succeed at the highest level and deliver?
I think so. And you're right. We have the same conversation at the start of every season. So
I was going to try and
So the spirit of Groundhog Day. No, the league. We have to be going for the league. We obviously the COVID year was disappointing. Points per game. We lost out there. We missed very closely again last season with against Chelsea. We're capable of winning this league, but I think as Jayne and Dave were saying, it's with the injuries that we've got, with the new people that are coming in, it's just critical that we start quickly. Because if you look at last season, we didn't, and then we were absolutely flying by November. But the start of the season, unfortunately, it was a bridge too far to gap. But if we start well with the league, there's absolutely no reason why we can't win it. Champions League, obviously, it's different this season because we've got the group stage as well. So obviously, we've got to win next week to even qualify for the groups. So more games, more travel. But again, we've got that squad there to give it a good shot. Where we'll get, I don't know, but let's win next week first, and then we'll talk about that another time maybe. Yeah.
I think the priority, as Jude said, there would be to be going for that title, going for the league, hopefully getting to the Champions League group stages, see where that takes us. That's going to be a bit of a new adventure for everybody that gets involved in that. But the league is such fine margins. You've got Chelsea at the top last couple of seasons, and they've been a really, really good side. And we've just been on the coattails, just like a point, or that great save from the goalkeeper behind them last season. So we're not far off. The margins are really fine in the WSL. You've got Arsenal, who I think have improved, and will be back in the title race this season. I think Everton have improved massively and got some great players in over the summer. So there's not much room for error in this league now. And Chelsea will be there or thereabouts again. So that's the target. We should try and win everything we're in. We should aim to win every trophy win. We've got the FA Cup held over from last season again. That didn't do us any harm last season, winning that. And this time we'd be able to go as fans, so that'd be brilliant. Christmas Cup final, quite like the sound of that.
It's also on the same day as the lifting of the ban. Is it?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
I've got the dates wrong.
The anniversary. Yeah, it's that week.
But it's the 100 years. It's
I think that's why they put it there. And then they'll have this year's FA Cup will start after Christmas. If we go in the Champions League group stages, I think we go into the quarterfinals of the Conti Cup. If not, we'll have to go into the Conti Cup groups. But we should aim to win every trophy we're in. I know that's a tall order, but we sit here a big club. This is what we do now. We go for every trophy. So, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. In agreement, Jayne?
Yeah, definitely. For me, the league is what your fans watch week in and week out. So for me, the league is the top aim, if you like, for me. I know the club really want success in the Champions League, so the first step is to get through to this group stage, and then it's kind of a new bit of a new ball game from there. None of us have really experienced a group stage in the Champions League, so that'd be quite interesting and quite good to get through to. I do love a cup final. You see, I want them all now. I do love a cup final at Wembley as well, Nice Wembley
you
cup
want the
final.
season, that's what we're doing.
That's it. The Conti Cup's always special because it was like our first trophy that we won. So yeah, I'll take all four then if we can have a wish list. I'll just have them all.
Yeah.
There's 2 FA Cups, Jayne. We'll have that as well.
Oh yeah, didn't think about that. That's another one at the end.
Yeah.
It'd be rude not to have that one as well.
Aim for them all. It doesn't do any harm to think big, does it? And go for it.
Let's talk about, obviously we just touched upon the Champions League. Obviously, City got their Champions League journey off to I don't know. I can't find a word to describe the game. But it was a 1-1 draw in Spain against Real Madrid for the first leg. Away goals count for nothing, but City got off to a good start in the second half. It was a little bit lackluster, let's say, in the first half, but they certainly came out with the intent of obviously imposing themselves a little bit more on the game. Obviously, it was a late equaliser from Real Madrid, which obviously saw the game just a draw at 1-1. What did you make of the game, and how are you feeling about the second leg at the academy?
I think before the game, if you'd have said you'd get a 1-1 draw, you'd probably say, do you know what, I'll take that. We've not had much pre-season. It's the first game back. We're away from home. On the night, it felt absolutely gutting when they got their late equaliser, I think, because that second half we'd played so much better. The first half, like you say, was a bit lackluster, a little bit kind of slow in patches. But the second half, I thought we played some good football. Taib had a great game in net. There was a lot of nice passing and moving about. So when they got that late equaliser, it was really, really gutting, to be honest. On the flip side of that, I think I didn't see so much from Real Madrid that I don't think we can beat them in the home leg. I think the home leg is ours for the taking. You know, fans there, crowd behind the team. I think it could be a really good night, and you know, to get a result against them at home and get the win there, I think could set us off in great stead for the season.
It was different. We definitely played better second half. I think they might have had a bit of a rollicking at half time off Gareth, and they came out and definitely played well second half and deserved the lead they had. One thing about the pre-season we've had, the thing you noticed, I think we tired significantly in the last 10 minutes. We look quite tired. So that might be something we need to take on board in these early games until everyone's up to speed and the other players are back and he can make changes that he wants to make. You know, game management, seeing these games out.
It did look to me like Gareth had a plan in terms of the changes that he made. I mean, we started the game quite brightly as well. I mean, it's worth mentioning we had a really good start, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of a really good play.
Yeah, there was definitely patches of the game where we were. I think if you look at the stats, we doubled the amount of passes that they had and things like that. We were in control of the game for more. And let's face it, another minute, 2 minutes, we'd have won 1-0. We'd have all been over the moon. So what a great result considering the situation. You know, first game, all the players out, six first team players possibly that were out who would have probably started if they were fit. You know, so you know it's not the end of the world. And as Jayne says, personally, I make us favourites next week. Because we're at home, we'll have the crowd, and I think we can play well enough to beat them. But you know, a note of caution. I remember the other year when we drew away at Atletico Madrid, and we got it wrong in the home leg, and they came and did a job on us. So, you know, we need to be aware that they're a good side, and we need to play well. But yeah, I would make us favourites to go through, and I'm confident with the crowd we can do that.
Did you see it any other way, Jude?
No, I think that's a fair assessment. I had technical challenges, so didn't really see the first half. But the second half, yeah, so you know, some really good possession football and passing the ball around, and yeah, it was frustrating to get that equaliser. But yeah, similar to Jayne, I didn't what the match I did see, nothing really worried me. Obviously, I suppose the big one was there was no Asllani. She was out with COVID. So I guess it remains to be seen as to whether she'll feature in the return leg. But yeah, I think we can do it. Look, it's going to be our first home game in who knows how long. So hopefully we'll get a nice attendance, even though it's midweek evening. But I know for those of us who are there, we're going to make a lot of noise, and we will be that 12th player to do our bit to help the team get it over the line.
Yeah, and obviously sandwiched in between these two legs of this Champions League tie against Real Madrid, we've got our opening game against Everton in the WSL on Saturday, which is going to be hosted at Goodison Park, which is a great opener and a great stadium for the game to be hosted at. How are you feeling ahead of the game? And are you obviously most definitely looking forward to getting back into the stadiums and getting behind the team?
Well, personally, I can't wait to get back in the stadiums, and you know, away days are such a great time. Goodison Park's a really old-fashioned ground. I mean, they're moving soon, aren't they, to a new ground? So it's one of the last chances we'll all get to go there. I've been there many times. It can be a real bouncing atmosphere in there. You know, it's a proper old-fashioned ground. There's not many of them left. So it's, as you say, it's a great opening tie. It's a very tough game because Everton have bought very well. And the last time they played at Goodison, I remember they beat Chelsea in the FA Cup. So, you know, they do performance where they've played there before. It's a big day for them to play at Goodison. That'll lift their players as well. They bought a lot of good players over the summer. They've got a good manager, in my opinion, Everton. So I think it'll be a very tough game. But from purely looking at it, that we're back in there supporting them, I can't wait. I cannot wait to get in there and get those songs going and all to be back together doing what we do and what we love to do, because we've all missed it.
Yeah, it's quite good that it's a close, it's an away game, but it's nearby. So, hopefully, and again, with it being men's international break as well, hopefully that will encourage sort of more people to come along as well, and we get a nice big attendance. I don't know if anybody's seen anything with regards to sort of ticket sales or anything. I've not seen anything. But yeah, I can't wait. I've never been to Goodison before, so it's a new ground, which is always nice to go to a new ground. We've got City have got an away allocation, so people have bought through City. Then we'll have everybody sat together, which just helps build on the atmosphere. And yeah, it's possibly going to be a bit emotional because we haven't been together for so long. And yeah, I'll admit it, I was quite emotional when I was at the Etihad the other week for the men's game, so I'll probably be a mess at the CFA for our first home game. But yeah, I just can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so excited to be back. I think it's a really tough tie. Everton have bought really well, but again, from a personal point of view, just to be back in the stadium, to see everybody again, to go on the coach with other City fans to the game. Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm really looking forward to. We've made an updated version of a little OSC songbook, which we're going to stick on Facebook for people to download. I'm going to email it out for people to download.
We've got a few to hand out on the coach as well.
We've got a few paper copies, so just for everybody to. It's been a while since we've all sang together, so thought we might need a bit of help.
We've got a few new songs to teach you, Emma, on Saturday. They're all clean though, don't worry.
I'm no good
at to pass out honey and lemon. We'll have lost our voices by the end of the game.
Yeah, I definitely feel what you said there, Jude, about it being emotional. Just looking forward, like you said, to just seeing everyone and getting that atmosphere going and feeling it. And I do think it will be a little bit overwhelming. And I found that not just with football myself, but it just, in other aspects of life where it has just felt a little bit normal again.
Yeah, we've been so kind of closed off from everything for so long that to get back to doing this, that, I mean, most of us spend a lot of our life watching City and a lot of our life with the people who we go to games with and things like that. So to have that taken away for so long, I think you're right. I think it will be quite emotional to see everybody there and to kind of get back together.
It will be very emotional. We've lost a few friends as well over the time who won't be there on unfortunately on Saturday. So there's those, I've been thinking about those as well. So yeah, there'll definitely be emotions running high, definitely. But it's fantastic that we're all going to be back together and doing what we love to do.
And it won't be long, so we're back at the CFA either. Obviously next week. Looking forward to that. Probably just that little bit more though, being back at home.
Yes, like you say, it is our home. We spend so much time there. Yeah. We've not been able to for 18 months, is it, more or less? So and again, that's going to be emotional, isn't it? And it's such an important game as well. It's not like we're going in for a friendly first and we can all spend all afternoon saying, oh, hello, how have you been, and all that. There's a big game on Wednesday night, so the atmosphere should be great. That's another one to look forward to. But I think we do what the team do, and the old cliche, I think let's take one game at a time. Let's worry about Saturday first and then move on to Wednesday after that. That's the way to do it. And maybe then our emotions can handle it a bit easier if we do it one game at a time.
I doubt it. It's going to be like Christmas when you can't sleep, the night before. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing you all. Obviously, you spoke there. The OSC have arranged travel for fans. Have you got a little bit of information about that for those that are joining the OSC and making the trip to Goodison?
I have indeed. Jayne's already sent an email out, but I'll just confirm to everyone. We've put a free coach on for our members to welcome everybody back. With it being the first game, it's booked up now. It's full. It's departing the blue car park on Saturday morning at 10:30. That's the one at the back, the usual one near the gasometer, the big one. So head for that one. If you can get there around about 15 minutes before, so we can get everybody on one of the important things to note for Saturday is that you may not be aware Soccer Aid is on at the Etihad on Saturday evening. So the car parks are going to be in use. So it's very important that when you pull in to get the coach on Saturday, you see Jayne, and she has a card for you to hang in your window of your car, which allows you to park your car for free on there. It's like a car park pass. And then obviously you will bring you back on the coach there, and you can get your car afterwards, because when we're getting back to the Etihad, it's going to be quite busy with people coming in for Soccer Aid and using that car park, so it's going to be busy. So it's very important you see Jayne when you pull up on Saturday morning and get the pass for your car. Then we'll get you on the coach and we'll get you to Liverpool hopefully nice and early, so everyone can have a little bit of time together and meet up again and have a few chats, and that's why we're going a little bit early. Make a day of it. But if anyone needs any more info, there is an email being sent out, and also just contact us on Twitter if you need to know. And I can't wait to see everybody. It's going to be great.
Right, before you do go, let's do a cheeky prediction. I missed the predictions. No good at them, but let's have one anyway.
I know, but my heart rules my head every time. I know I'm like 2-0, Bunny Shaw brace.
I'll go.
That'd be great.
I'll go for a tough but very satisfying 1-0 away win for us. It might be a little bit back to the wall at times because Everton will come at us, but I'll say we'll stand nice and firm. I'll go 1-0, and I'll go for Bunny as well. There you go.
Well, go big or go home. 3-0. And I'm going to have Bunny.
What did you say, Jude? 3-0?
3-0. We've got to keep a clean sheet. Come on. So, 3-0. Bunny, Lauren. Oh, who else? I don't know. Hayley Resso.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Emma?
I kind of feel like Everton are going to get one. Just because we've just looked a little bit, a little bit iffy on the back, I think, and I think they'll try and expose that maybe a little bit on Saturday. So I'm going to say 2-1. I think it's going to be one of those where there's not much between the two teams, but we can just find a way. So City 2-1.
Well, any of those will do us, really, won't it? We'll all be happy if we get a
win.
Take the win.
Get a win. I don't care how you do it.
It's interesting to see who's in net, isn't it? Because we don't know whether Ellie will be back, but I thought Taib was so good against Real Madrid as well.
Yeah.
And is KB fit? She's obviously still recovering, maybe. But like as Dave said, we've got 3 solid keepers there. Another one to watch.
I'm really, really sorry, Jude. After you said we've got 3 solid keepers, it just cut off.
Yeah, you did look very frozen.
Sorry.
Oh, it was
cut
brilliant
off.
as well. What she said was fantastic as well.
Oh,
You really looked out.
It's the best thing I've said in months. So no, just saying, we haven't even mentioned Alana Kennedy.
No, Alana Kennedy, yeah. Do you know what? I was quite surprised she didn't start, to be honest. I thought she'd move straight into the squad.
She was the standout player at Tottenham last year for me. So I was really, really excited to see her join. So again, she can do back line and midfield as well. So yeah.
I mean, that's it. It seems that we have gone for those versatile players, and I think in terms of options, Gareth's got a lot to think about, and also, if it does come down to it, and we are looking to cover positions, there are players that have the potential to drop in and out of those positions and do a job if needed.
Definitely, Gareth does definitely like a fluid back line. If you look at the way that he's adapted Alex Greenwood since she's been at the club, when we bought her, we were all thinking, oh, does that mean it's the end for Demi because she's going to play at left back?
Mm-hmm.
But he wants her to play centre half, and that's where he thinks is the best position. Demi signs a new contract. She's the left back, and Alex is playing centre half a lot now. So it just shows you he does like fluidity in his back four and versatility, which is a good thing. It's a good thing, especially in the modern game. And, because you want to rotate as much as you can and keep players fresh. And that's where people like Alex and Esme Morgan come into that back four, because that's what they are. And hopefully Alana will be the same.
Yeah, definitely. It was great to see Esme out there again, doing Esme things. I love it.
Great player. Great player. Just shows you if you persevere with the youth players, and sometimes a loan move is the best thing that can happen for a player. They go and they get experience and a good team, high level. She's come back a great player, and like I said before, probably one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment.
And it's just, there is so much to look forward to, and like you said, just ready to get going, especially with the league now. Really looking forward to Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you all there too, and I know we'll catch up soon.
Definitely. See you Saturday, Emma.
Yeah. See you Saturday.
Saturday. Nice to speak to you.
Bye.
And that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to Dave, Jayne and Jude for joining me. If you're heading to a game this weekend, be it Everton versus Manchester City or any other fixture across this opening weekend of the WSL, enjoy it. It's great to be back in the stands again. And if you see us, please say hello. Part of what makes this podcast is chatting to the fans, be it City fans, opposition fans, it doesn't matter. We're always looking to get your reactions and thoughts right throughout the season. So if you'd like to get involved, drop us a message. You can do that on our socials. You can find us at MCW Fancast, or you can email us at mcwfancast@gmail.com. And we'll be back next week.